more, just a little more, just a little more.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Just a Little More. This is the show that is dedicated to getting you just a little bit more information, a little bit of more tea, and a whole lot of love. This is Jonathan, and I'm so excited to have a very, very special guest. And we have Ray.
Hey, y'all.
And so we have a very special guest. Now, I've known this, I call him a precious lamb because he's younger than me, but he's real grown, y'all. But I've known him since his freshman year of college. He has grown and transcended to do great and big things. And so we're so excited to kind of get a chance to talk to him and know a little bit more about him. But before we do that, we need to do a cocktail check. Make sure everybody got their cocktails. You got your best friend. And are you ready for this conversation? Let's dive into it. Now, I know him by Derek, but you know, he does have a name that is infamous and everyone knows him by. And I'm going to give him a chance to kind of explain that. So go ahead, Mr. Derek. I'm going to call you Derek, but your name, and let everybody can know who you are.
Yes. So my given name is Derek DeAndre Matthews, and that's what most people know me by, because the transition to this alternate persona is fairly recent. The name is Sizzy Galore. You can follow me on Instagram at Sizzy Galore. And the name for me is very meaningful because it is actually a reclaiming of something that once really plagued me and kind of ate at my confidence. So Sizzy in itself is a play on the word sissy. And so I'm taking all those years of being called a sissy before I even knew what sexuality was, what gay straight was. I was being called a sissy because people saw something different in me. And in the past, it was something that, you know, made me feel less than. And so in reclaiming my power, reclaiming myself, and really learning myself, I wanted to take the opportunity to kind of just like push out the thing that once plagued me. So Sizzy, play on the word sissy, and then galore means in abundance. So I want to take the things that really like could be something that holds me down and throw it back at you times 10 in abundance. And you see me standing, you know, high and proud.
Ooh, now I just felt
That's amazing.
I felt so deep. Hold on, I gotta go get my slate fan because I know you're gonna say something that's gonna make me go. But while I'm going to go get that, okay, so what made you get the confidence to kind of even create that name? Like, what did that even, like, did you have a moment, a reflection? Like, what made you come up with that name?
It was literally, so the name in and of itself has been kind of tossing around in my head for a while. But I was thinking of Sizzy more so as a persona outside of myself. So I was looking for ways that I could like basically build a brand mascot for my brand Loving Osker, which Sizzy Galore still very much is, but I never pictured it as myself. Now, in moving to Atlanta, I moved here to pursue like my full-time creative like ventures. I moved here to do that. And the first year was like such a transitionary year. Like I went through the ups, the downs, and all arounds. And so basically my first year in Atlanta like broke me down to the point where I could go nowhere but up. And I was actually literally sitting in my bed one day looking crazy, like hair not brushed, beard not, like no haircut.
Like Ray. Like Ray. Yeah. I know that.
Take the thing off your head. Let's see what's going on.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead. I'm finished.
But this was like mid, like when the quarantine was like heavy and nobody was going absolutely anywhere. So I was looking like quarantine essentially. And I was like, I should take a picture of myself right now. And so I did, but I didn't take it with the intention of posting it. But I did post it. And it was like that moment was a snap. Like, if you can love yourself right now and be confident enough to put yourself out right now how you look, then you got it. And it's like, ever since then, I've been completely devoted to sharing myself at all points,
Mhm.
you know, the highs, the lows, when I look great, when I don't look great, when it just me in all facets. I've been dedicated to sharing that lately.
I think that is so powerful because, you know, like I said, I've known Sizzy Galore since, you know, his freshman year. And I remember we used to have great conversations of just growing and being a young gay baby, me being young and gay. And to see you stand in this and, you know, to say that is just like, wow, it's like a proud moment. And I know that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on Just a Little More, because of your Instagram presence. Like, your pictures are literally epic.
Everything. Yep.
Like, I want you to really live in that for real. Like, it's really epic. I be telling everybody, like, go and like it. I make sure I like them. And if you're going to go to his Instagram, because you do show the beauty of accepting all facets of your body, your life, everything about you. And I know that takes a lot of bravery. And I think that's like, it's a lot of commitment. So I'm just, you know, I'm proud. I really
because Jonathan and I have talked about that before. Like, it's so bold. I can never. I don't know if I can be that vulnerable.
Yeah,
with like pictures and things like that. Yeah,
because it's been a process, and to see you standing in that and saying that I'm, you know, like, here I am. You know what I'm saying? This is me, my beauty, and everything. I think it inspired me definitely, but I know that it's inspired a lot of people. So that's why I'm really excited about, you know, this journey for you. With your fashion, because, you know, I've always, you know, you've always had an amazing fashion sense. You've always done, you know, you did fashion shows at Berea College. And, you know, it ain't nobody had no fashion at Berea. But you had a fashion sense. You brought fashion. We used to do the 8 fashion shows during that time. What was your journey now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Being a real fashion designer, I call you a trendsetter. What is that journey looking like now in Atlanta? How has that changed or transitioned for you?
So it's funny you said that you called me a fashion designer, because I literally just got comfortable calling myself a fashion designer.
Really?
For real?
Yes. And it's because, like, I think most people go through this sense of like imposter syndrome in some form of fashion, no matter what the profession, where you just like, people are going to realize that I don't know what I'm doing, you know, especially with my background in fashion being completely self-taught. I taught myself how to sew. Pretty much in anything that I know about fashion has been something that I have soaked up by way of the internet or magazines or just overall experience. And so it was hard for me to call myself a fashion designer for quite some time, but I'm now at the point where I do feel like that is something that applies to me, and that, you know, I am a trendsetter, you know.
Yeah.
As far as fashion in Atlanta, I've only been here for a little over a year. And so I haven't had the opportunity to really like jump deep into the fashion world here. I think it's kind of like low key. If you know the people, you know them. If not, you kind of like just trying to figure it out. And so I still feel like I'm trying to figure out fashion here. But as far as my brand evolution here, I wouldn't even credit it to Atlanta. I credit it to me being away from home. I could have been almost anywhere, really. It just took me uprooting from what was comfortable and what I knew and where I felt safe to really push me to some places that I wouldn't have gone otherwise. You know, as far as me being as big and bold as I am and as confident to put out certain things or look a certain way, like all of that came as a result of me moving away from home.
So how is people? I'm sorry, Ray, I didn't mean to cut you off.
What made that shift for you for saying like I am a fashion designer? When did that shift happen?
Literally, I mean, I just shared a post this morning where I said I can officially and confidently call myself a fashion designer. So the shift has been literally within the last couple of, like, the last week, I would say, where I really felt like that. And I think it's because at this moment, I do have a full-time job. I'm a graphic designer, but I'm currently on furlough. So at this moment, I'm getting to dedicate all of my time, effort, and energy to fashion. So I think that helped support me in feeling more like a designer, because on a day-to-day basis, I'm going to my studio, I'm sewing, I'm fulfilling orders, I'm doing the business, I'm doing all of that. So that, but then also just like this sense of confidence in what I'm doing. I'm finally making stuff that like I'm not tired of in a week. You know, I made a dress and like it's my favorite dress it's my favorite thing that I have ever made. It's called the Osker green mini dress. It's on my website, lovingosker.com, all over my social media.
What's that website again? Say it again, because I want everybody to hear it over and over so they can start buying stuff. What is it again?
It is lovingosker.com. Osker is Osker.
Okay. And where did that name come from? Because
I was about that same thing.
I want to get some clarity too, because I've heard Splash. That was like, I know that was like a something. I don't know what that was. So I want to get. So is it Splash? Is it the Osker brand? What is the brand? And how did those names come about?
So Splash by DKG was an existing brand that I basically joined like close to when I left college. And so that is a denim streetwear brand. It's going through some transitions of its own right now, but I basically helped to build and launch that brand. And now I'm back to my own brand, because Love and Osker existed before I joined Splash by DKG. When I graduated from college, I got real practical and was like, I just need to get a job. And so I wasn't doing anything fashion related. And then the opportunity with Splash by DKG came up. So now I'm back to Love and Osker, and the name is what I want the name is what I want to name my children. So I always like, back when I first named it, my thing was, if I never get the chance to have children, then this will represent the children that are in my heart. But that was also me at a time where, you know, like, because it's, when you're a gay man, it's like, when you have a child, it's a full plan. Like you're not gonna do that on accident.
No, we get the plan.
So it was like, at that time, I didn't have much hope for having children. But, you know, now my thing is, that's what my children's names will be. So this is my way of just almost manifesting them into my life.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, you know, with your pictures and with your brand, how has been the social media reaction? Like, have you gotten all love, you know what I'm saying? Or has it been like some haters, some trolls, you know what I'm saying? How's that reaction been like on social media for you?
The reaction has been overwhelmingly positive.
Good.
I haven't had many people, really, I've only had one person say something negatively, and it was
because don't say their name. Don't say their name.
No, your answer is as good as mine, because it was just somebody random from the internet. And that's often how it is. Like, people who you don't know, you will never really meet or have a connection with, they have the most to say. Yeah. But even with that being said, like, my approach to social media is to focus on the positive. Like, I'm not going to let one negative comment negate 30 positive comments. Now, I'm also not at the point where I'm like super popular.
That's true.
Yet, but I'm really going to work to keep that mindset as my social media presence grows, that, like, you know, the negative comments, of course, they will come, but they won't supersede the positive people.
Oh, that's good. Because I was wondering, like, you know, anytime you live in your truth, you have that positive and negative, especially as a gay male. It's just like, you have people who are going to say something like them family members who didn't know, or, you know, whatever. When you live in that truth, I didn't know if they came out the woodwork talking about, I got something to say. I didn't need to say something to you, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't know how that was for you.
Well, see, like, talking about like family members and stuff, or people who may have known me for, you know, a long time, and now them seeing me basically living my truth, the way that I put that in my mind is, it's no option for you to accept it or not. And I think that I almost like radiate that. And so nobody really comes at me like, well, I think this about what you got going on but I don't even think I radiate the kind of energy that's like I can approach him like that. And I love that about myself.
Radiate.
And
Yeah.
if I could tell anybody who may worry or be concerned about their family or friends or any type of judgment, like, you just have to make it not an option for them to, you know, to accept it or not. And my
That's
thing
a word.
That is a
Word.
That's
a word.
Life is so short and people are dying every day. Like, I don't even care if you don't agree with my life or my lifestyle. I don't care. I'm still gonna speak to you. I'm still gonna say, hey, how you doing? I may even ask you, are you still mad? You know, you know, or have we moved on to something else? Because this is me and it ain't gonna change, you know. You just kind of I don't provide the option to not accept it.
Yeah.
What has
Who's
been
your biggest?
Sorry, yeah.
Oh.
I think about that same thing. What has been your biggest? Well, I don't know, inspiration or
that's what I'm about to say. Yeah.
Inspiration in this throughout this journey. What gave you like this full like I'm gonna do it? Like this is my journey.
Yeah.
So,
but you took my question. I just want you to know that.
What was your biggest inspiration?
Biggest inspiration. Okay, so for moving, my inspiration was actually the person who I was working with by way of Splashed, Daniel Greer. So he moved to Atlanta before I did, and he and I had talked about moving to Atlanta, like, you know, here and there, but we never did it. But then when we were apart, he moved to Atlanta, and I was just like, man, you know, I don't want to just be here. You know, I don't want, you know, like I want something to change for me too. So that was the spark for me to move. And then as far as like for me to just fully go for what I'm going for right now, it's really my grandfather who recently passed. And for anybody who knows me, like for real, they know that my grandfather was essentially my father. So in losing him and knowing that he knew what I was doing, he knew who I was, and he supported those things, and he saw it being big, but he just won't get the opportunity to see it in physical form. But just knowing what he had in his mind, I'm like on a mission to achieve what my grandfather knew and supported and wanted for me because he knew I wanted, you know. So.
Wow, I'm so sorry about your granddaddy. You know, granddaddy and grandpa I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? And so they are here. His father's here. And he's God was. I'm sorry about that.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful because he passed of cancer. So I think we all have experience with cancer, or at least, you know somebody who
know somebody,
who's close.
And you just know that's not a way to live, especially when it reaches a certain stage. And so I don't want him to have a degraded quality of life just trying to be here. You know, there's something greater for all of us, especially if you spend your time here trying to be the best person that you can be.
Yeah.
You know, beyond this. So I'm thankful that he has that now.
What was one of the greatest lessons he taught you? What was one of the greatest lessons that
you Patience.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Me too.
Was a very patient man, and he passed that right along to me. And I'll tell you where that is showing up for me right now. It's because with fashion, I mean, technically, I've been doing this for 9 years now. Almost.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, like,
you old, Ray. Oh my God, you old.
Like I remember the first fashion show. Like I remember, like.
Yeah.
I remember.
That was 9 years ago.
Oh yeah, Rochelle, all the young crew. So like, wow, you know, 9 years, jeez Louise. Oh my God. Ray, you about what, 50? So I know like it's been.
If I'm 50, you 65. So.
But yeah, I think that patience is something that I have learned, that I'm learning. I'm still learning. Because sometimes in life you want things to happen like right now. You know what I'm saying? And get it done right now. But I think as you keep living, my mama's biggest philosophy, she's always says, baby, just keep living. Just keep living. Keep living. You'll understand a lot of different things by and by, but if you just keep living. So I just think, grandparents. So I'm sorry about your granddad. Transitioning just a little bit. With quarantine and quarantinisha and COVID, how do you feel like fashion has changed a little bit? Because everybody wearing masks and they want their masks to match, their outfits and stuff. How do you feel that's the future? Like that we'll have to coordinate our masks with our outfits? Like what is your feeling about fashion moving forward when these, coronavirus and the future now? 2020 been a fool kind of future.
2020 has been a fool.
A complete fool.
As far as like COVID and fashion, of course we're all wearing masks, but so far from just the average person, I haven't seen much trying to coordinate nothing with nothing. People just they got on the paper mask or they got on some random mask,
Yeah.
But as far as actually like the actual fashion industry and how it will affect like collections and all that kind of stuff, I think it'll definitely have an impact. And that's where we'll start to see more of like people being influenced to coordinate their mask with their clothes or whatever. But it's like it almost has to have that fashion platform. How like on Devil Wears Prada where Meryl Streep's character Red. How it makes the filters down. Like I think it's gonna have to be shown on the big fashion platforms and then trickle down to everybody. Like really, because at this point a lot of people are just resistant to masks and don't really want to wear them. So but
that's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother, but that's true.
Yeah, but it also affects COVID in itself affects the fashion world because I mean the main way that people sell and show clothes are fashion shows, which are big events with lots of people that can't happen right now. So designers and teams are having to be really creative and innovative in how they're even showing their clothes.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, how do you feel about the virtual fashion shows that have been taking place that was started by a Black woman?
Yeah.
And then we saw a white designer try to take that on. You think that's going to be the new route?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and brands that are resistant to that will probably fold or severely diminish. Like at this point, you're going to have a digital presence and incorporate, some aspect of virtual into your presentations, if not completely virtual. Like that's just going to be the expectation at this point, because I know before COVID, so many people had never heard of Zoom, didn't know what Zoom was, but now everybody knows.
Everybody doing Zoom.
Everybody's doing Zoom. So it's just like this whole idea of not having to be in a specific place to experience a specific thing has trickled down to that everyday person. So definitely gonna be like that. That's gonna be the only way you can sell. And I'm even thinking of ways that on my limited budget, my small brand, that I can create virtual experiences for people to like see and interact with the clothes.
How is like what's inspiring you now? Like what is like your inspiration now? Like to create. Like I always wanted to know. Like I look at Project Runway, and like they'll give you the themes, and you got to go and create it. Like how has it been like a theme process? Like do you do like a sketchboard and then you create it? Like what is your creative process?
Mm-hmm. I've never done a mood board before and actually followed it. My inspiration comes in spurts. Literally the fabric that the Osker green dress is made out of was the inspiration, because I just brought it home and pinned it on the mannequin and just started playing with it to see what it would do. And it just started creating like this very beautiful shape. And I love the silhouette of it. And that particular dress is actually informing the rest of my collection. So
I love it, by the way. I love the color, the pattern, all that. It's really nice.
thank you. I do know that my next collection is going to be inspired by truth, though, because that is what I'm putting out about myself, and that's what I'm motivating people. I'm trying to stop saying stop saying the word trying. I'm
doing it.
Yes. So I'm motivating people to live in their truth and speak their truth, and just, so that's what I want my next collection to inspire for people.
Has it been, I'm sorry, Greg, go ahead.
No, I was going to, about the inspiration. Are you going to try to do a audition for a one of the fashion shows, like Project Runway, or I forgot the new one that's on Hulu or something like that? Is that something that's in the near future?
Well, I don't know at this point, because I've done those. I've auditioned for the shows multiple times. I've been a semifinalist for the shows multiple times, and I just don't know if it's for me yet. I don't know. I feel like part of the reason that I didn't get fully on was because I was lacking a full point of view as a designer. And that's something that I still feel like I'm in development with. Like I'm at a great place with it. But
what do you mean when you said it, like a full point of view? Like, what is that? Like a full collection? What does that mean when you say full?
Basically, like somebody could look at your work and know that it's yours.
Okay.
They can look at your work and they can see that it's more than just clothes, like it's inspired. It feels like something, and it feels like you, like it's attached to you, and nobody could do that but you. So over the years, I've spent a lot of time like replicating stuff and just trying to find my own way. And I feel like I'm at the beginning of really finding and expressing my full point of view. And those shows, Project Runway and all the rest of them, they are TV shows. So at the end of the day, they're trying to make TV. And it's not always like helpful to designers, so.
Yeah, I guess you always think about wanting to go on those shows, to get to be famous or whatever. But I think like if you're doing what you're doing now, like what I'm saying, even with being on social media and having that presence, it's just as effective sometimes than being on the shows. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even know like what's the future of like TV shows and even be able to tape it. So I definitely just encourage you to keep building whatever brand you have, and what you're doing right now is effective. Like I really believe people are seeing it and they're really like gravitating to what you're doing. So I think
I would rather build the way that I'm building right now, simply because a lot of times people go on shows like that and they are like catapulted into people knowing who they are, and they can't meet expectation, from being on a show like that. And also when I was auditioning for those shows, it was because I wanted validation. I wanted the validation of being on a project. And people calling me a designer, but I'm building that for myself right now. So
it makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, I guess, because you answered a lot of my questions and stuff like that. I guess getting down to kind of the closer, if you were to say, what is just a little more you want people to know about you, about your brand? What is just a little more you want people to know about?
I want for people to know and understand that we are all multifaceted individuals. We all have different levels. We all have different, like there's just so much to us. And a lot of times we don't tap into all of those parts. We're afraid to tap into the parts that we feel like people may not accept or people may look at differently. But a lot of times that's going to be the thing that like really takes you to the next level. I think that's why a lot of people stay where they are, because they're either content or they just feel safe and they don't, they don't want to do what it takes to go to that next level. I think that's even like a big like motivator of homophobia, because every person has elements of masculinity and femininity in them. But as men, specifically Black men, but just as men in general, we are taught to suppress anything that could even be perceived as feminine because that's weak. But women are so powerful, and so that confuses me. Like, why is femininity viewed as something, as a weakness? So that's something that I am celebrating in myself, that at times I can be masculine, at times I can be feminine. I want to paint my nails, I'm gonna paint my nails. I want to play basketball, I'm gonna play basketball. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I encourage everybody else to do what they want to do, like, despite anything.
Ooh, you just gave a word. I just had to shout on that one. That's good. I feel that. I definitely feel that. What is something you want people to know just a little more about your brand? And give all your hashtags, everything, so people can go back. And please pay full price. Don't ask for a discount. Pay full price for his work, efforts, and anything. Pay full price for Black artists. Pay full price. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so the brand is Love and Osker. Osker is Osker. The website is loveandosker.com. Across all social media platforms, it's at Love and Osker. I am Atlanta-based. I'm growing, but I'm professional. I'm always ready to work, especially when it is pertaining to Love and Osker. And when you either purchase or experience or whatever it is by way of Love and Osker, just be ready to express yourself fully. And my big thing right now is love. And I think it's so crazy because I'm very much on this track of like love, self-love, and love of others. But I named this brand years ago when that wasn't even a thought. But now it's like all coming together and making
full circle.
Full circle moment.
So love yourself, love others, because that's what Love and Osker is about ultimately.
Well, everybody, this is an amazing, amazing artist. Book him today. Go to all of his social media. I'll have all that in the description below, so you can click and go to it. Pay full price. He does not need a discount. Full price. Yes.
Full price. I will have a website update coming soon. I actually will be incorporating a service called Sezzle, and that's basically like an installment type plan. So you can pay full price within your budget.
Within your coinage. Within your coinage, yes. It's a payment plan. It's like a layaway. Is it layaway like, or you just make payment?
It's layaway, but you're not laying it away. You get it.
Yeah.
You get it, you know.
I may need that. I may need.
Me too.
And I wanted it to be available to anybody who may need it, because I understand that like people want to support you, but I am at a certain price point and I can't go down off that price point, but I still want it to be accessible to the people who want to support me. Why I switched my website to a whole different service so that I can incorporate an installment plan like Sezzle. So
that makes me love you even more. This is God giving you any reason or excuse not to connect or be able to purchase. So, because I know that can be a word when you don't have it. So, this is an opportunity to connect with this amazing artist. Below, click on all of his different links. I know that he has a great social media presence, so make sure you connect with him, like, subscribe, share this show to somebody that loves fashion, that loves, getting that new trend. And we hope you come back every week for just a little more conversation, a little bit more information, and a whole lot of love. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Hold on, Jonathan. I know you just closed us out, but I want to say something to both you and Ray. I just want to say thank you so much, for having me on tonight. But then even more than that, just thank you for being older gay Black men who have been in my life for quite some time now. And there was never a sense of expectation. There was like never any type of like ill feelings towards you or coming from you. And I just love that because that's something that I think a lot of gay Black men crave but never really get, you know. Either they want to sleep with you, or they want to steal from you, or they want to live off you, whatever the case is. But y'all, neither one of you all were ever that for me. Y'all were nothing but positive and supportive, and I just thank you so much.
Man, you trying to make me
loud.
Let me go ahead and close the show if I start crying. You know, I don't do a cute cry. But we
know.
But we do. I mean, I'm so proud of you. That's one of the reasons why I wanted you on the show, because me and Ray both are just so proud of you. But tune in, and I want to stay on the line so I can connect with you because I want to talk. But I'm gonna end the show, but stay on the line, okay? Bye, everybody. Tune in next week.
Just a little more, 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 just a little more.